What's up, guys? It's Chris from Chris Beat Cancer, and today I want to introduce you to Bailey O'Brien. So I'm at an event in Phoenix, and yesterday Bailey came up to me and to say hi. Apparently she knew who I was, and which I was not expecting at all for anyone at this event to know, because it's not a health and wellness event. But anyway, so Bailey came up to me and she started telling me her story, which is an amazing healing cancer story, stage 4 melanoma. So you got to tell the story.
Well, first I want to apologize for babbling and being like, oh my gosh, so starstruck.
I didn't notice at all. It was great. I'm literally so happy that you came up to me. I mean, I'm so happy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am too.
So you were diagnosed at 17, is that right?
Initially, I was 17. I had just started college, and I was in my first semester at Boston University, and I discovered a mole here that looked suspicious. Had it biopsied, removed, and found out after I got home from finals that it was melanoma. Or they weren't 100% sure it was melanoma, but they wanted to treat it like it was.
Yeah, 17. That's like scary.
Yeah.
So what was the treatment? What did they start with?
Well, first they injected a tracer to see where it would go if it went into my lymphatic system, and they traced it to a lymph node in front of my earlobe, or right here, and they found out that that was positive for melanoma. So then they removed 45 lymph nodes from my neck, and all those were clear, thank goodness. But I took interferon treatments. Mm-hmm. They weren't 100%. I mean, the likelihood that it would benefit me was about 50%. They weren't really sure about that.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, why shouldn't I do it?
Which is common with most cancer treatments, right?
Right.
They're really not sure if it's going to help you at all until they try it.
Yeah. But that's what I felt I should do, and that's what my doctor said I should do. So I was like, okay, do what the doctor says. And 2 years later, I was getting regular scans, checkups, PET scans.
So it worked initially, right? Or you had surgery,
right?
And then they treated you.
There was no further sign of cancer.
Okay.
So my doctor said, you can go back to school, you can live a normal life. I really don't think the cancer is going to come back. So in a scan, right as I had just moved back onto campus for my senior year, they found something behind my jaw. Biopsied it, it was melanoma again. So I was like at the top of my game. I was an athlete, and I was ready for. I was a diver, a sport diver.
Oh, awesome!
And I had such an awesome competition the previous year, a championship meet, and I was at the top of my game, and I was so excited for my senior year. But that just halted everything, and it was really disappointing. I had surgery, and the surgeon missed it the first time. So I had another tumor grow behind my earlobe, and
I don't understand, how did they miss it?
It was a 6-hour surgery. You would think they would get it, right?
That's weird.
Yeah.
To me.
Well, it showed up on an MRI because the doctor was like, I didn't see anything that looked like melanoma, but maybe it was there. We got it, but we don't know. So I had the MRI like 10 or 15 minutes later, and it had changed a little bit, but it was still there. So I had another surgery, and then another tumor grew, and so they had to take part of my ear off.
Okay.
And I had major nerve paralysis, facial muscle paralysis for about a year. And I did radiation for a month, 6 weeks after my surgery. And thought, again, I was in the clear. And I was with my teammates in Hawaii on our training trip, which was more of a vacation for me.
Yeah, that sounds like a tough trip.
Yeah, right after New Year's. And I felt this lump under my chin, probably as I was putting sunscreen on. And I was like, that's like really small. Maybe it was there before and I didn't notice it. So I asked some friends, like, do you guys have this? And none of them did. So I called my mom, and I was like, we gotta tell the doctor about this. And my mom told the doctor, but we all agreed I could stay where it was and just address it when I got back from my trip. So had the biopsy when I got back from the trip, and it was melanoma. So 2 weeks after I had finished radiation, it was back, and it just totally blindsided me, because I thought that they told me the chance that it would recur again was greater than 15% within 3 to 5 years, but
Yeah.
2 weeks, I had no idea.
So you're pretty discouraged.
Yeah, but I had a CT scan that night that I got the results to make sure it wasn't anywhere else, and it turned out that it was in my neck, lung, and spine. I had 7 tumors, and I did not qualify for the most promising drugs that my doctor wanted me to try.
Why not?
Because I didn't have the right mutations. So
So that was a blessing in disguise, really.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful that I didn't qualify for them. And at that time, I had gotten to the point where conventional medicine had nothing left for me, and I had discovered that conventional medicine really hadn't worked for me at all. Just got me back to square one after a lot of depression and isolation and
Yeah, you'd been through what had been 3 years of, dealing with it on and
Yeah.
off, right?
yeah, 3 years.
And basically here it is again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it only put me in a worse position. It was terminal cancer.
So what'd you do? I mean, they basically can't help you, right? You don't qualify for any of the new drugs or trials. So what'd you do?
I remember my mom and my sister came to my school to give me the news, and we were in my dorm room, which was pretty small. So I went over to the window and looked out over the beautiful Boston skyline, and I tried to think of all the medical world that's out there. What do they have for me? What are my options? And I thought about the drugs, but I didn't qualify for those. I thought about doing nothing, but that will end in my death also. And so I just felt helpless in that moment, like I didn't know what to do. But my mom had this friend who had done research in the alternative medicine world, and she was talking in our ears like long before we got to this point, but we didn't want to listen to her.
Oh, I know the type. Yeah. The pesky, persistent, like alternative cancer person in your life, right? Yeah.
But she believed.
We've got a lot of those people watching this video. Yeah.
And thank God for them.
Yeah.
But she was like 100% Bailey, you're gonna make it. And she told that to my mom, and then my mom told that to me.
That's great.
And so my mom was like, you know what? There are alternative options that we haven't looked into yet, and you're gonna make it. We're gonna find what's gonna work for you. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna do a ton of research, and so that's what I put my trust in.
So you had a champion. You had somebody, cheering you on, right? And
blazing a trail.
Yeah, helping you find some answers, find some options. So what'd you end up doing?
I ended up going to Mexico. I went to Chipsa Hospital for chole fluid primarily. That had a 60% 5-year survival rate for inoperable melanoma patients, plus the Gerson therapy, a modified version.
Yep.
So 13 juices a day, 3 coffee enemas per day, and supplements and Laetrile, high-dose vitamin C, and that was it for the most part.
Did you do hyperbaric oxygen or?
No, I didn't. And I did one hydrotherapy treatment in a hot bath, but it was hard for me to handle, so I didn't do that again.
Even being a swimmer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like really hot.
Yeah, so hydrotherapy is like hot and cold, right? Back and forth?
Well, it was just
did the
hot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're like, stay in as long as you can, and they had a little fresh orange juice for me to sip on, but I was like, I'm dying here.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
So you're there for 3 weeks?
Yeah, I was in Mexico for 3 weeks, and then I went home. Oh, I also did an autologous vaccine where they used my own blood to re-inject the blood into my body after, culturing or amping up the immune cells.
Yeah. So choles and autologous vaccines are used in a lot of clinics outside the U.S., and especially in some of the more progressive Gerson type clinics, the unofficial Gerson clinics.
Yeah.
The official Gerson clinic won't use them.
Right.
But anyway.
So I continued the autologous vaccine once a week for 8 weeks, I think, or 8 or 13. And I did the chole fluid injections 3 times per week. I did the juicing and along with the Hippocrates soup twice a day. coffee enemas 3 times a day.
How soon did you see a change?
I saw a change. Actually, by the time I left Mexico, the tumor under my chin was totally gone. Like, we couldn't feel it.
Come on now, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
That's great.
I was very
Very
feeling
encouraged,
good.
right?
Yeah, very encouraged.
You're like, this is working.
Yeah. But still, like, I was desperate, praying for a miracle every night.
Mhm.
And so after another 3 weeks at home with my mom giving me injections, I had a scan, and it was 2 days before my 21st birthday. Next day, I went to see my oncologist at Sloan Kettering, and first he sent in like a med school student, and he was asking me questions about what I did in Mexico, and he was like taking notes, and he's like, all right, the doctor will be in with you shortly. And then the doctor's assistant comes in, she asks me the same questions, and she's like, okay, the doctor will be in with you shortly. And then the doctor himself comes in, and
They're like, we've never heard of these things.
yeah, like, tell me about your diet. So that's my oncologist asked me about that also. He was a melanoma specialist, a researcher, and he just had like a blank face, and it's like, I don't really understand what's going on here. He asked me about what I did in Mexico, the diet, chole fluid, all that. And so he's like walking around the room, not looking at me, and he goes and washes his hands, and he's like dries his hands, and then he like leans up against the countertop, and he's like, And I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, please tell me what's going on. I'm like literally dying to know what's going on.
Oh, he still haven't told you the results of the test?
No.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I was like, so what did the scan say? And he was like, well, we don't do PET scans anymore for melanoma. It doesn't seem like the best way to get accurate results of what's going on. But it would appear from your scan that you have no sign of active disease. And I was like, wait, what does that mean? But
Yes, we know what that means.
Yeah, he explained there was no sign of cancer.
Yeah.
And it just, it was like this incredible weight was lifted from my shoulders, and I just moved down and
But
cried
me
for
cry,
like 3
too.
days.
She's getting me all choked up here. Stop.
And that was
love
just most emotional moment of my life.
And so when was that? That was
That was March 2011,
okay. Yep.
and here we are 5 years later.
5 years later. So, and obviously, no more cancer, no recurrence.
Not at all. None.
And how long did you
Son.
continue Gerson and Coley's and those protocols
Right.
beyond that point?
I continued the.
Oh wait, before you say it, how much time had passed between when you started Gerson and Coley's and that scan?
I got to Mexico or San Diego on Valentine's Day.
Okay, and that.
So that was mid-February. So
Yep.
like 6 weeks on the Gerson therapy.
So in 6
Coley.
weeks it was all gone.
Yeah.
Okay, 6 weeks.
And so then I stayed on this like 3 times a week chole fluid and the 13 juices a day for about 6 months.
Yep.
And then I gradually decreased, like chole fluid, I dropped down to twice a week, and then once a week, and then once every other week, once every 3 weeks, and once a month. And now I'm kind of at like, I'm living my life, and I'm doing it like every 5 or 6 weeks right now. And because I want to keep my immune system on its toes.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing 2 juices a day, or 2.5, and I combine greens, green pepper, red cabbage, lemon, lime, celery, carrot, beet, ginger.
Every vegetable
Like,
in there.
I love it all.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Just get as much as you can in your body, right?
Yeah, and those aren't Gerson juices, but
No, they're still great.
yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So, where can people find you?
I have a website, www.bayleyobrien.com.
Okay.
I'm on Twitter.
BaileyO'Brien.com. And for those of you watching, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put a link below the video to Chris Beat Cancer, where there will be links. You can find Bailey and links to maybe information about Coley's.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and links to Gerson therapy if you don't know what that is. So yeah.
And resources. Like, I always point people to you and Ty Bollinger.
Yeah.
Believe Big.
Yes.
And
Oh
I
yeah.
just-
Believe
so
Big
awesome.
is an awesome organization. Look it up. Of course, Ty and the Truth About Cancer series and the Truth About Cancer website is an incredible resource. Yeah, it's
And your
just
20 questions for your oncologist, I've brought that.
Oh, you passed it on? Yeah, thank you. That's good.
Yeah, it's so invaluable, and people need to ask their doctors the hard questions.
Yeah.
And they need to build up the courage to do that, and I hope to help people do that. So.
That is awesome. Well, Bailey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to say hi. Thanks for doing this interview, and I'm really excited. I'm just so proud of you. I mean, you are super courageous, and you know, I know you weren't feeling courageous at the time. You were feeling terrified.
Every step of the way was so hard.
But one of my favorite expressions is, if you're scared, do it scared, right? And you did it.
Yeah. Praise God.
Yes, amen. All right, thanks for watching, y'all. Check out the show notes and for relevant links if you're trying to learn more about Gerson or Coley's or all the stuff we talked about. See you on the next one.